Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a 1950s era cast iron skillet. Now what is unusual about this pan is it was produced solely to be sold in the Sears department store. Now if you are into cast iron collecting, you may have figured it out. Yes, today we're going to take a look at the Maid of Honor. Yep, Maid of Honor cast iron skillet. And I did bring in another pan, an older pan, so you can see if this department store skillet is any good. Maid of Honor. It's a beautiful looking pan. Back is nice. No pitting. Wow, happy with that. Nice and clear logo too. The interior. Also very nice, surprisingly nice. I was not expecting a smooth cooking surface like this. We'll get into that soon. We'll take another look at the cooking surface, but let's go to the back. Now, who actually made it? Now, people speculate Lodge Manufacturing made these pans. And if I was to make this video 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said Lodge Manufacturing. However, these days, collectors do look at the pan and then they look at Lodge pans and think they don't really look similar. So did Lodge indeed make these old pans? No one knows for certain. Lodge Manufacturing may have made pans for the Sears department store without this logo, and there has been a few skillets with the label, and then it had, I believe it had Lodge Manufacturing on it. And then people connected, okay, Maid of Honor with Lodge Manufacturing. However, people that do know vintage cast iron look at these pans and think, that's not a Lodge pan. So now people do say it may have been made by Lodge. In fact, we don't really know. Pretty interesting, right? Be interesting in the future if we learn more. Now here on this pan, there is an outside heat ring. Oh, I said outside, I shouldn't have said outside. It's an insert heat ring. An outer heat ring would be right on the edge. But this one, as you can see, it's slightly inserted from the edge. It's a insert heat ring. Now what's a little unusual about a heat ring on a pan of this era is we naturally assume that people are cooking on gas and electric at this time. To have a ring, well, that's kind of designed for a wood or coal-fired stove for cooking. Really unusual that a pan of this era has a heat ring. Now, that's not to say that people did not cook on an old-fashioned stove. In my own family, yeah, my Auntie Dulcie and Uncle Harold, they still used a coal-fired stove in Christchurch in New Zealand for many, many years. However, it's pretty interesting to see. There's the cooking surface. It's a beautiful looking cooking surface. Now, I don't know if the light can pick it up, but there are tiny little lines around the outside. Definitely machined. Now, yeah, it's not machined like a sander. Fortunately, that's not a good thing. But yeah, there are tiny little marks. And these would be called milling marks. So it's a lot of collectors like those marks. It's a beautiful looking cooking surface. Yeah, nice looking pan. So let's take a look at two pans together. We have the Maid of Honor from the 1950s, Sears department store, and Erie Manufacturing. Now you can see the difference in heat rings. Now this one does have a outer heat ring. Very nice. And I did mention before, here is the insert heat ring. It's not from the outside like this Erie. You can see those little indentations. That's why people think it's a Lodge. Pretty cool. The handle, nice reinforced handle, very, very visible. Nice little rib around here. That's a slightly modern pan. There we go. It's blended blended right into the walls of side walls of the pan. Pretty interesting. Definitely taken on modern characteristics. But we do have a heat ring, really interesting, and we do have, wow, there we have that raised lip around the outside of this Erie pan. And surprisingly too, wow, look at that. Ooh, this pan does take on some antique characteristics of a really old pan. Got the heat ring and that reinforced lip there. Pretty cool. I'm surprised. I really am surprised with this old pan. Turning the pans over. Beautiful cooking surface on the Erie. And guess what? It's also a very nice cooking surface on this Maid of Honor. Again, I'm pretty surprised. Really am surprised. I'd say the difference is minimal, and it's just with wear and tear that these are different. However, one thing is very, very clear, and that is the thickness of the pan. When I'm picking up this Maid of Honor, I'm left-handed, picking up with this right hand. Whew, that's a weight. That's a real weight. That's a workout. And this pan, even though it's on my left, it's much lighter. You can see the modern pan. Well, I wouldn't say modern, it's from the 1950s, but this real old antique Erie, it's a lot thinner and it's very, very noticeable on the spouts. A little bit of inconsistency as well, where it's sort of thin and it gets a little thicker. The Erie it's a lot more consistent. It's just thin all around, but you can see the thickness of these spouts especially. It's definitely a heavier pan. Whew, it's a workout. The Erie, a beautiful, beautiful pan. Light, smooth cooking surface. True pleasure to use. Love this pan. But I am surprised with the Maid of Honor. Often you can pick these up relatively cheap. It's not a bad looking pan, is it? Nice, smooth cooking surface. Whew. It's a bit of a weight. That's not bad at all. So how was this Maid of Honor cast iron skillet? Were you impressed? I was surprisingly impressed. That cooking surface is really smooth. It's gonna lift off food easily, and it's comparable to some of my antique skillets, which are really known for that smooth cooking surface. This is really good too. Really nice milling marks. Oh, it's a nice pan. It's a nice pan. Now it's heavier. It's got thicker side walls. So if you are looking for a lightweight pan to throw around, the Maid of Honor probably isn't for you. However, if you do cook on higher temperatures, if you're frying, you want that higher temperature to sear, this could be a good option. Thicker pans are less likely to warp than the real thin pans. So if you do come across a Maid of Honor, don't overlook it, and hopefully you find one in the wild. Okay, thanks guys.